This video is going to be 6 key points to keep in mind when you're learning to code. So these are things that I wish somebody would tell me more often, or I wish somebody told me right at the beginning. Who is this for? This is for the early career developer, the software engineer that's just getting started, or you're just interested in learning to code. This channel is going to be for you. I'm going to provide inspiration, hopefully, motivation, hopefully, and some tips along the way and factors that I think have helped me be able to continue in my journey, in my software journey, in my web development journey, to be able to continue to keep going and to kind of stick it out because it is hard. This video is going to have 6 key points. Some of these things are going to be guiding kind of mental adjustments that you can make along the journey. It's not always going to be easy, and there's lots of different ways to cope with that. But I hope some of the tips that I shared today are going to be inspiring to you, make you move forward in your coding, web development, software engineering progression, and that it can provide you a little bit of resources and kind of strengthen that mental to keep pushing forward. Point number 1. Learn what you want. I see a lot of people very influenced by what the market conditions are currently in terms of the job market. I would say learn what you want. Learn what inspires you. Learn about a bunch of different languages and choose the one that you're most excited about. If you're really excited about AI, like, go learn Python. Like, just do it. Like, have fun learning. And let that force, let that guiding force, let that goal of, building something with AI, drive your Python journey. For me, I wanted to make a website. Simple goal. I just wanted to make a website. Simple, but more complicated. If you're along your journey, that there's a lot that goes into that. And for most people who are in this field, they talk about it so like it's like an automatic kind of that you should be able to do this. But it's not trivial. It's not trivial. But that was my goal. And so I chose Ruby and Ruby on Rails, which isn't necessarily in 2024 the sexiest language to choose, nor is it the most popular in terms of the job market. And I've had struggles with that, which I can touch on at another point too. But I would say focus on what you want to. What's going to inspire you every day to look at your computer and code. And whether that's a goal in mind related to a certain language, or whether that's you just love a certain language and you're really interested in learning it and what it can do. Point number 2, this one's pretty simple. Think years, months, not weeks, days. Think years, months, not weeks, days. This is a mindset shift that really helped me. Oftentimes we can put a lot of pressure on ourselves to understand something or get it right, and that's never really helpful. I often put these arbitrary barriers around. Let's say I wanted to learn a linked list, right? I should have it done by Friday. Say it's Wednesday, so I got a couple days, and I don't get it done, or it makes me feel bad. I would say don't just get discouraged when you're immediately not getting something, because this is a process, right? This is a marathon, not a sprint. Think months and years, not days and weeks. Point number 3 is learn how to learn. Learn how to learn. Practice the art, the skill, practice the practice of learning. Whether it's passively, whether you're trying to learn how you like to learn, learning how to learn, learning how to go through the struggles of learning, learning how to do projects, learning how to do assignments, whatever curriculum you're doing, learn how to struggle and learn how to learn. And I think those two go hand in hand. Point 4, find mentors as soon as possible. So I'm in the Ruby community, and there's tons of ways to reach out to mentors through that community, thankfully. But I imagine a community with JavaScript. I imagine a Python community. I imagine a Rust community. I imagine a Golang community. I imagine they are all thriving, right? There's always somebody who's willing to reach back and pull you up, as long as you're genuine and you're honest and you come across as someone who's interested in their work. Maybe you've done your research, you're passionate about the language that you're learning, and you can kind of express that. Mentors are always going to be willing. Well, not always, but if your ear is open and you're willing and ready to learn, mentors are going to be a huge benefit, huge, massive benefit to anyone who wants to break in the field. For one, they give you advice, right? They give you life and career advice. Two, they give you technical advice, right? They give you, let's say you want to have them look at your code maybe or something like that. And three, career trajectory is determined by your connections. And if you can make more connections and more connections to people in the field, you're going to be even more successful. Point number 5, be a sponge. Be curious. There's not much more to this point besides love what you're doing and want to learn more about it. It feels good to be competent and to learn how to be competent. You want to get to a level where you can make a website, in my case, or deploy a website, or run a business through your website. This takes being a sponge and be curious. If you don't love the idea of building software and websites a lot, to make the world a better place, or maybe to make money, but if you don't have a love and passion for it, it's going to be tough. And I think being a sponge comes along with that, and being curious all the time. Be curious and be a sponge. And the last point number 6, is don't be afraid to write bad code. I feel like a lot of us want to get it perfect the first time, and that's just not going to be the case. It takes years to get good at this. And again, think months, not years, because this is a marathon. And the code that you write right now, at the beginning of your journey, you're going to look back and be like, what was that? Don't be afraid to write bad code. You can have the jankiest looking code, but if it solves the problem at hand, when you're starting out, that's fine, right? It's problem solving. It's learning how to solve problems. And it's hard to solve the problem and implement the best practices. If you're doing object-oriented programming, those principles, it's hard to solve the problem and implement those in the code as well. It's another layer of abstraction. Don't be afraid to write bad code. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. I'm going to be doing a couple more of these videos down the line, but if you liked it, please hit a like, subscribe, help me get in the algorithm. I really appreciate it. And again, I'm hoping I can just give resources, give insights, give motivation, and that's why I'm here.